So this is basically a portfolio. So you have a header, you have a hero section, then you have a project section, and then you have like a contact area. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good lunch. So I'm going to get started because I want to pass some stuff quite fast. So welcome to Create Magic with Figma. So today we are going to learn about Figma, about style guide, we are going to make a sort of a portfolio, and also we are going to try to understand what's the relation between design and HTML and CSS as well. So I will explain that later. So who I am, I'm Dominique. I've started to make design with Photoshop, so it was a lot different than now, you know. In my career, I've been a UX UI designer, I've been an SEO guy, I've been a design lead, SEO specialist, and all these things. My last job was a digital lead for venture capital in Thailand. My passion has always been design, and that's why I could have probably do programming before, but that's why I waited that long to actually learn to code. So this is what we are going to learn. I already went into it. What we're not going to learn, we're not going to learn too much about design principle, about what a designing team do before handling you the design. So everything that is customer journey, sitemap, wireframing, all this kind of thing we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk too much about prototyping. If I have time, I will make some prototype, but I'm not sure. And also like component, state, and variable in Figma, which is also a thing which could take an entire lesson probably. So what we are going to do, what is right, is this. So let me make it better size. Okay. So this is basically a portfolio. So you have a header, you have a hero section, then you have a project section, and then you have like a contact area. So that's what we are going to do. So generally, when a designer handle you a design, they give you many things. And so this is really a basic thing that I'm giving you. So I forgot something in the Google chat. You have a link. You can actually download that, and then when you log in to Figma online, so it's at figma.com, and you log in, you create an account, you will reach something like this. So of course, it's gonna be a lot less thing than me, you know. But here you will have create a new. You have a button create new. When you click, you can import the fig file that I give you inside this, and you will have exactly what I have actually. So should I give a few minutes for that? Timer, go. Yeah, so basically you go to figma.com, but I'm already logging. You will need to create an account here. You will need to create an account. Once you have an account, you will have something like this, and here you can import an external file, which is the file I just give you in the link. Okay. But for me, you can also download an app that goes on your computer. You can do that later. It's not really necessary now, you know. So, do you think I should give some time for that, or I don't have time?
And it is Windows, right?
Yeah.
Just put the typing time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Timer. 1 minute. Oh, this is 1 second. This one, huh? Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Sorry. So we continue. So in this Figma design is a bit like a design endeavor, except that is really basic. So complicate, for example, I can show you a complicated design endeavor, which has like the style guide, everything, and has all the page. So this is something I've done actually and create the website in Webflow as well. It's for a company that has a agenda that help elderly person. So this is how we have the thing with like different type of screen size as well. Here in that case, there is only mobile screen size, but you can also have tablet or things like this. So ours is really a lot less thing, but it's a good base. It will kind of make you understand how to, when you receive a design, what you can expect to have inside and things. So first of all, we have a style guide, which is very important, which is basically the style, the main style of everything. So in that case, like here we have some colors. And so if you want to make your own style guide, you can create those squares like this with the color you want. And then when you click on one of the square, you have this fill here. You just click those 4 little dots here. And then you can click the plus icon here. And then you just type a name and save this locally on your local, on Figma locally, which allow you to have like all your colors saved like this, which is kind of important. And you can do that for text, you can do that for the shadow, for everything really. And then if you use basically Figma as a tool, which is developer tool, but unfortunately, nowadays the developer tool is not free anymore, so you have to pay. But I got a solution I will show you later on, a free one. So it will help you to kind of get the CSS of every element you're going to create. So it's important to have a sort of style guide done. So then here I have some shader of the main colors. So this I use sometime to create background or maybe have a color of a font that is different and things like this. It's always useful to have this. So in Figma, if you right click, you have plugins. So you can add and remove plugin, and this plugin is called Color Shed. So you can use it. And if you want to install plugin, you just go to Home here on the left side and go to Explore the community. And here you can type Color Shed and enter, and it will show you the plugin and everything here, So you can download your plugin here if you need. That's it. So in this style guide, we also have the font, like every type of font we are using. So it's also really important to name it when you save them like this. So to save a font is exactly the same. You will have the font here. So, and then you click this 4 dot, and then you click the plus icon, type a name, and you have a font set up. Okay, so here we use Montserrat. This one is the regular size. It will be 21 pixels. We have a medium, text medium, and we have a text bold. And then we have H1, H2, H3. And so this is what we have. Everything is saved already, so I'm not gonna save it. Then we have some style, what I call style element. So here is like an order list and under list. And then we have link. We have all the state. So on focus, on press, visited, you can actually change the style in the CSS. So you can actually do it here as well. The same for the button. And the form. So the form, generally a form has multiple states as well. You have when you press on something, you have like when something goes wrong in the form. For example, if you have an input field that is required and the person didn't fill up, you can actually customize this. Generally with Aries, we use like the default setting, but we can actually customize this. So this is our style guide. And then we have a grid. So a grid, it's a very useful tool. As if you remember one day when we were doing Instagram, Aris talked about the 12 column grid. So this is the 12 column grid, actually, is a sort of a representation. So we have horizontally, we have 20 column with some margin on the left and right, and the gutter, which is the space in between the color of 20. And then I like, this is personal preference, but you can do it. I like to have horizontal grid as well. It's not very used, but it allows me to place stuff nicely when I design. So I have a 6 column grid, 6 column row for horizontally. And then I have this row of 100. I have 150 row of 8 pixel spacing, which allow me to do this grid, which is kind of useful because if you think about that, like when you're developing, you're using REM, and REM is basically a maturation that is based on the root, the font of the root of your website. And generally, the default font is 16. So this is a multiply of 4. And I'm using 8 because it's also a multiply of 4, and it gives some good spacing. And if you add the mobile version, you might use 4, multiply of 4, 4, 8. So here because we don't have REM in Figma, here you know that 16 pixels is actually 1 REM, 8 pixels is actually 0.5 REM, and so on and so on. So this is why I have this. And also, like if I create a shape, and let me, you can see it's not to the grid. So also it's quite useful. So that way you're sure that all your spacing, they're the same then framework like Bootstrap or Tailwind. And so everything is kind of like flowing well, and you won't have to customize a lot of things in your framework when you do the CSS. So this is the reason. Here I put some resource link here. So you have theming with Bootstrap, theming with Tailwind. This explains you how to overwrite style on your framework when you do something. So you will probably always need to do a little bit of theming, like changing the color, the default colors and stuff like this. And so this is, that's it. And then you have your assets. So the asset, they can be saved differently. In that case, I left them here, but you can have a folder with all the image. And for optimizing the image, I like to use tiny PNG. So tiny PNG, it allows, I pay for that actually. It allows you to compress the image without compressing the quality of the image. So it's kind of useful. So for example, if I put an image, you can see we reduced by 34% the size of the image. And if I go back there and I click on convert, I can convert them in WebP, for example, and it will reduce even more. It will be like 54% in that case. So it's always good to do this. Some designers, they do this for you, some they don't. So it's, but it's good to know how to do. So I think we can get started there. I will delete that so I have everything completely. So generally, I copy my grid. I use it a little bit like a section of like element of your website. So I copy this and I paste it there. And here I will change the color. I will put a color, this blue. So I have this color here. I can come back there. So inside this, I have my logo. So the logo is Domi. You can have whatever logo you want. So copy. So I select my my element here. I paste it there, and then I press the key K. So K bring this thing that is a scale like this. And so it allows you to scale element without like modifying like the shape of element and stuff. So I can reduce it like this. Okay. But also I have another solution. I can also select this. I see it's 120 widths. And here, if I click this little button, and I click here, I can type 120, and it will resize it exactly the same. Then what we do, I like to put them like really at the beginning. You have to understand Figma is a tool that allows you to reproduce sort of the box model, but also in a very, very easy way. So it allows you also to play around with element and things. So you don't need to, there is a way to set up the box model in some ways. I will show you later. But in that case, you at first you can just play around with element and see what looks good or not. So to make you understand the box model, this is an element of the design we are going to do. So basically, the box model is a way to create CSS with box. So as you can see on this example, like you have a box, and this box can have some padding, for example, and inside this box, you have another box, which is the blue box here, which can be flakes, for example. And then you have some other box inside, which has another size. So you can, all the style is actually styled on a box. So it's something to understand. And we are going to use this later in our design. So here I have also the menu. So menu, sorry, what did I put? Work and contact, okay? So contact and work. Sorry, contact, and then I copy, so Control C, Control V, and here I have another one. We'll call it work. Work. Okay, and then I have this button with my resume. So to make the button, I type the text resume like this, and then I make the text selectable like this with the little square on each corner of the big square, the big rectangle. And here I can go to, I can do Control G, which make it a group. Okay. And after that, I can click my auto layout. So the auto layout is basically the style like you can apply to the box, basically. So here I will have a margin of 24 pixels. And I will have a padding horizontal of 24, sorry, and a padding vertical of 8. Okay. And I can have a fill. So the fill, the same, I click here, and I can choose this color. The text, so here you can see in my selection, I can see all the colors of my selection. So I can change the color of the text as well here, you know. And here I will have a radius of 5.7, which is something I like to have actually. So now I have this. So what I can do, I can also push it like here to the corner there, here, and then take my text. So I will do Control G again, and here I will apply an auto layout. So this auto layout is horizontal, align center and justify left. You can also justify it center, is up to you. So this is represent the flex or horizontal display flex, horizontal justify left align items centers. And here I can have some gap. So here I will do maybe 8x3. So you can put mathematics inside of Figma. So it's 24. Maybe I will do 8x4, which is 32. So this one has a gap of 32 pixels. And then I can do Control G again on those two elements. And here apply my auto layout. And here it will be, let's say 8x5, which is 40. And I will push it there. The reason why I put them like this, even though it's not really aligned now, is because I can select my logo, I can select the element I create, and now I can apply an auto layout. And so I have this that is justified between, and the line center. So it's exactly like CSS. So it's kind of important to do it like this. I will explain you later why. So here I can have some margin or padding on the right and left. So let's say 40 as well, and maybe 16 on the top and bottom. So now I have a nav bar like this, okay? Okay, so as you can see here, I have my layers, and they all have some name, very real name, frame 42 or whatever. So this is always good to rename them because it allows you to kind of like, well, as I told you before, when we will use, I can probably show it to you now. So we are going to make the CSS of your website. You will be able to use something like Zeppelin. And here you can have all your texts which were saved here. So it gives you the CSS here. You can see fonts, Montserrat, and everything here. And so you have everything for your colors, for the spacing. So you can see everything is here, like, so you have 4 pixels on the whole this thing. It can be different names, so you can have the name of a framework if you have them, so you can actually use them straight up. And then, so this is my text and my spacing, and I have my colors, which are actually saved in variable here. Yeah. So then when I go to the dashboard and I click on an element, when I click on this, I can see the CSS. So for example, I can see the name of the layer is actually the class. So you have the CSS, and you also have div block. They give you kind of everything. It's not 100% perfect. You will always need to modify some stuff, but you will have a good base. So it's kind of easy for you to retrieve the CSS when you do something. So this is the reason why here I like to name everything. So this I call it header. Okay. And well, this is the logo. This is my nav, let's say. Nav. And inside the nav, I have this as well, which I can actually call menu. Okay. So inside of Zeppelin, every flex box there, like every layer there will be actually named, and you will be actually able to retrieve the class there. So you can think of naming, some naming convention and stuff like this when you're actually designing. So we have done this. So this has also something else. We actually put a fill here. Okay. So right now, don't ask me why. And I have an opacity of 70%. Okay. And I will put some effect on it. So when I click here I have some effect like drop shadow, inner shadow, layer blur, background blur. I use background blur, and I think I use 20 pixels there. So basically, if you scroll down, you can see this nav bar is actually blur like this, So this is how you do it if you want to make it sticky and stuff. Okay. So this we have seen before. So basically, the background blur is a backdrop filter in CSS that is blurred 20 pixels in that case. Yeah. So this is so you can kind of understand that Figma is kind of really good of reproducing CSS in some ways. You know. So now we have an image. So I can go to my image there. So if you don't want to use this image, you can always click here and or Control-Shift-K, but it conflicts with Notion. I have Notion. When I use Control-Shift-K, it opens Notion. So here you can actually select an image and put the image you want and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. Sorry, it's a bit too big. Okay, so here I have my image. So this image has a radius. So we don't have radius of like 100 rem in a Figma. So we just put a big number like 1,000, and it will make it a circle, as you can see here. So right now, I don't really mind how I will display the thing there. I will try to center it a little bit. And then I will have a text. So this text is going to be John Doe. Okay. And here I can also click on my 4 dot and select H1. So this is my H1 here. And I can take another text, unlink this, and put I think is a text medium. So here is I'm developer, something like this. Okay, so if I go there, I cannot start to apply some layout. So I have this one. This one will be, let's say, 16 pixels, the gap in between, and no padding, nothing. Like this. And then I forgot something. In the asset, you will see you have a wrap icon, which are actually your icon here. Okay. And you can display them there like this. So I select everything. So the group of my text and everything else. And then I apply another layout. And here I can have maybe 32. And this is my element. So also like the reason why I do those sections like this is because then it allows me to have like exactly the same spacing at the top of the bottom everywhere. So like consistency is always there, you know. That's it. So we center, we can always center like this as well. Okay, it's quite center. And then we have those graphic which are made for you. So this is actually in Zeppelin is gonna show like position absolute, which is actually position absolute. So you can display them exactly. You don't need to use an auto layout. You can play with it. So right now I'm doing something maybe like this. Okay, for this one. And copy this. Okay. maybe something like this, so you can play around. The idea of using Figma is to really, at first, don't use auto layout, just put the thing in a way you feel like it looks good, and then you can use the auto layout everywhere, and have a nice design with all the CSS almost ready. Okay, so I forgot to name this. Is already is good. So this will be hero content. Okay, and inside that we have this frame. I can call it hero text. Okay, and then I copy another grid. Here. So inside this grid, as you can see, we have few elements. So we are going to make a line. You can select a line here. The color will be blue. The weight will be 1%. It's going to be center. You can also add some rounding corner, for example, if you want. So we have like this line like this. And then we have, this is text medium. We have a text medium. So work, which is already text medium. I will change the color, make it no, it's not this one, it's this one. Where is it? It's here. This one. So this is how it looks like, and then we have another text, which will be what I do. Okay, and this will be my H2. As you can see, this has been done on purpose. The H2 and H1, they're exactly the same. But it's because sometimes it's good to do it like this, and I just wanted to have something simple for you. So I did it like this, but I put H2, and there I can choose the colors, which will be blue. And now I can use my auto layout. And here I think I will have 32 pixels or something like this. So I have this, I can align center and put it at the top of my grid there. Okay. So I have something like this, and now we are going to make this card. So I choose to have it like only one, because like as junior developer, we won't have a lot of project. So it's no point to have like a three column grid or something. Only one. So if you have one project, you can show only one. And if you have more, they will go one under the other. So I will pick up the image, paste it there, and use K to scale it. It's gonna be something like this. And there, maybe something like this. So this thing, I will group it. So Control G. So this group will be my project card. Okay. And here, so actually, it's not group. We need to frame it. Actually. So once you have it framed like this, you can click this button, click content, which is actually a sort of overflow hidden. So like everything that is inside this group, if it goes out of this box, it won't show everywhere. So I do it that way. So now I can apply a radius of, let's say, 25 here, and I have my radius on the image. Sorry. So inside this, we will have a text, I think. Okay. So it's going to be project 1, something like this. And this is going to be H3. And the colors is going to be this white, I think. So the same in the navbar, I push it on the side like this. And here I will have another text, which I will call it React. And this is gonna be text medium, and it's gonna have a colors. I think what color I use? Yellow. Yellow, and it's gonna be grouped. So Control G. And now I will apply an auto layout. I think I will have like 16 pixels here, 8 pixels here. Okay, and a radius of like 200. And now if I use this stroke here, I can have like a border around my thing. So the same than what we did before, we push it on the side like this. And now we select both, and we do an auto layout here, which is like justify between a line center. And we will have some padding, maybe 24. And inside there, maybe 24 as well. We have a nice sync like this. And so we can add a fill here of an opacity of 70%. And the effect, the effect is going to be a background blur of 20 or something. We can even maybe make it like 60% or something. It looks more like a glass element. So we have this thing done. Now we need to align everything inside. So what I do, I will make my section a little bit bigger for now. And I will select those two elements and align them center like this, no gap. Oh, yeah, maybe a gap of 24, something like this. And now I have my element here. Okay, so we have done this part as well. Okay, now we are going to do the form. So I pick up another grid. So as I can see here, you see like I have a box here on the box here. So I need to do something like this. I will just pick up this text here. So here I can just select the text, have a text here. So this is going to be a H2 as well. And I will paste my text inside, stay in touch. We'll have another text. Oh, what's going on? Another text, and this gonna be contact. Contact. So this is actually the font is medium. So it's always good to stay consistent. So we use medium here. So use medium for the eyebrow. Yeah, this is actually design is called an eyebrow, actually. So I have my contact here and I have this line. I will copy exactly the same line. So everything will be kind of consistent. Yeah. So the padding, I think we use a gap of 24 here. So we have space in between 24, like this. Do I have something else? I have this text as well. Oh God. So to have this text, what I can do is I can go there, have my text like this, and here I just tap something like this. And now what I can do is go to my plugin, and I have a plugin called Lorem Ipsum. So here I can choose how many paragraphs I want and things like this, but I can also auto-generate the text, which will fit as much text as possible inside of the box we have, which will be this. So actually this I can cut it and paste it inside of this section here, and this I will call contact text. Okay. And here you see like this box is very small, but because we add the text is really big. So in the width, in the auto layout, if you click the width, we can see we have a fixed width of 409, but you can also use hug content, which will hug all the content that is inside. It's a bit like 100% thing. Yes. Q&A. Okay. Yeah.
Finish this.
Yeah. Sure. So maybe I will finish fast. No, because like we still have a contact form to do, but it's already prepared in the here. So what I can do, I can just copy it here and touch it in and explain you how I've done it. It would be a lot faster, you know. So this is basically my my element. Yeah. So now I have this box. Maybe I can. Yeah, I will leave it there. This box and this box, so I can apply auto layout to the top like this. Okay. And then I made a mistake. The auto layout is applied there. We will put it at the top. So everything is pushed at the top. And now I will explain you my form. So the form is a bit sort like an input, like an HTML form. So you have a label, and then you have this input. So this input, input. Okay. Wow. And this input has some padding, 24 horizontally. Padding vertical is going to be 16. And that's it. And it has a shadow. So main shadow here. So if I remove this, you can actually see that actually to make a very nice shadow, it's always good to use multiple shadow or the combination of multiple shadow. It's a bit harder to do, but it actually makes much nicer shadow than normal shadow. And to do this, I use a plugin which is called Shadow Maker. Yes. So when you open it, you can actually put a color here. And then you can choose the amounts of layer you want and like the position. You can really
All these plugins are free.
all the plugins are free. There is probably some pay plugin, but they generally have a free version. And so this is how I make my shadow. So for example, when I go to my Zeppelin and I go there and I select this input, you can see all the shadow is actually a combination of multiple shadow in the CSS. So this is how it's done. And you can easily pick it up here and like put it somewhere else. So yes, I think there is one more thing to do. It's to have like those design elements here. Okay, so here the same, you can scale them with K, make it how you want. You have it there, like this, maybe something like this. And then we have this one. Which will be a lot smaller. So as you can see here is on the top like this, which is not really nice. So what we can do is actually if I right click on this element, I can push to the front or bring some to the back. So when I send it to the back, it actually appears on the back like this. So that's it for this design.